right, after some trouble getting online and getting the recording started, we can finally start. Welcome back to Love Your Love Muscle. As you can see, I'm back here with Christina from Way to Yourself. So we're going to have a very interesting conversation today. The theme for today will be how to care without carrying everything. So we're going to talk about staying informed at the same time, trying to stay compassionate and regulated instead of getting overwhelmed by everything that is happening in the world. My name is Seb, the founder of the Transformational Meditation Group. And this is a bi-weekly podcast that I hold for you. And since this is going to be a talk or an interview, it's going to be a little bit longer than you are used to. Normally when we are in nature and meditate there, we do a short session, 30 minutes, and that's it. But now we're going to talk a little bit longer, most likely. And as you know, I'm not that keen on what is happening in society with our focus. We can't focus anymore. Like I say often, our attention span has gotten down to 47 seconds from several minutes a couple of years ago. So I think it's a crisis, to say it that way. And some of it comes from what we're going to talk about today as well. But before we get started and reintroduce Christina, we're going to do a short self-regulation session so you learn how to stay focused for longer, for more than 47 seconds. So I just want you to find a comfortable position, move a little bit with your body. So you sit good and well, move your shoulders, your neck, and just take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Fill those lungs with air and breathe out through your mouth. And as you breathe out, let the day go. Feel yourself getting centered. Lower your shoulders, loosen your jaw. Take another nice deep inhale through your nose and out through your mouth. Settle down. Feel that you're centered, more relaxed. You can close your eyes if you want to. And let's just focus immediately on our heart area. You can put your hand on your chest right there where your heart is to get more focus on your heart space. Become more aware of your heart. Settle down there with your awareness. And just imagine that you're breathing through your heart, that the air goes in and out through your chest area, through your heart. With nice, slow, deep breaths, calming the nervous system down, settling down. And on your next out-breath, feel that you're settled even more, that you're centered and focused on this moment, on the present moment. Continue breathing through your heart. Just say to yourself, set the intention in your mind. Say to yourself that you're going to be focused and present throughout this session. That you're going to stay aware so you don't miss out on any important information. Because during these sessions, these interviews, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. You don't want to miss out on this information that can benefit you and can benefit others. So again, set the intention to stay alert and focused on this session, the podcast you are watching or listening to right now. And you stay with us throughout the session, not only for your own benefit, but also out of respect for our guest, Christina, who is lending us her time to us. Beautiful. Okay, breathe normally again. Move a little bit with your body and open your eyes if you had them closed, and welcome back. And let's get started. All right. So we have done some previous interviews with Christina from Way to Yourself, a beautiful organization that helps people around the world, but especially, I guess, in Uganda, in Africa, where you have been and visited and helped out, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Mhm. And you also do weekly sessions with Tibetan meditations, or at least the the old Tibetan knowledge.
Mhm.
That's what you teach.
Yes. Yeah. First of all, thank you so much for welcoming me back here. I'm very glad to be in the space again. And yeah, for sure, there will be weekly sessions. We do it Sunday evening online. And as well, like some self-regulation, some like different knowledge which is combined and for sure can like help a lot in the everyday life.
Beautiful. I will.
uh,
I got the link from you now recently, so I will post that under this video, under this podcast, with the times when these sessions are. So those that are following along, they can chime in on these dates and see if you, yeah, you can join those sessions. Um, let's go over to the theme for today. And if you see me looking up over, it's there where I have my nose, so that you don't get confused and thinking, what is Seb doing now? Why is he looking the other way? Um, that's because of the setup. We had a problem with the session before to get it started and recorded. So
okay.
we're over to plan B and doing everything on the mobile phone. Um, what we want to talk about is like, I guess everybody knows you want to stay informed, right? You don't. You often hear people say from the spiritual realm or from the spiritual space, the New Age movement, etc., saying like, first thing you have to do is turn off the television, don't watch the news, uh, but all those things. But you still have to live in this society, so there's still a way you need to stay informed, right? Otherwise,
Mhm.
you don't have anything to talk about. Or you don't know what's going on around you. But when you, the thing is, like, there's a good thing, like the people saying, like, turn off the television, don't watch the news, etc. But because you get overwhelmed so easily, there's so much information. We're so much of a global society now. There's so much going on that even if it's not in our direct area, in our vicinity, still affects us very much. So if you turn on the news now or go to the media websites, you will notice, of course, the war in Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, US and Iran. So lots of conflicts going on around the world. The war in Iran is also affecting everybody globally a lot because of oil shortages, that sort of things. So we get affected by it nevertheless. Um, there is also things going on if you're living in Europe, in the EU especially, with EU leaders trying to take away certain freedoms and privacy that we were so used to in form of chat control and digital currencies, and their whole digital life is getting looked at or watched at, and it's almost becoming more like China in a way. So there's a lot of things that affect us that we can get concerned about, um, and that can cause uncertainty, stress, problem with sleeping. But you still want to stay informed, right? You still want to stay compassionate about, for example, refugees coming from these areas where there's war. You can't stay numb. You have to, those are human beings. You have to listen to them and live with them and, yeah, maybe try to help them and understand them. Um, so the question today is actually, how do we do that? How do we navigate today in today's world where there's so much going on and a big portion of it is affecting us. I don't know, what are your thoughts about that, Christina?
Thank you so much for this topic for today. I see it's very important and like very much up to date right now. There are different points which are important right now. First of all, we always will have some, like, let's say, some difficulties in the world, because this is how the world is created. Like when we really go back to the, let's say, to the source, our planet is like this, that we are facing challenges, because only through the challenges we are going to develop. We need to think about it. We need to overcome it. We need to do something. And the main situation is right now, we are under the influence of, let's say, some higher forces. Higher forces which are giving us some limits, maybe even, or some freedom. And the time is changing. So we have a time when there's a lot of freedom, when we are supported in it, and also time coming when it is more limited. And mostly, like it's also coming from nature. It's like the influence from the higher forces, but as well, there's the situation when people start acting like a lot by themselves, when they really forget about their true background. We are living in a world right now when people they have a very how to say this in English? It's let's say people they had a very good life. They had a lot of like a lot of freedom. They had everything what they need, and that's a moment when people they forget to pray. They forget to think about the higher forces, to think about God, because everything is fine. So you don't have this need. You understand? But when you forget about it, then like God sees that some changes are needed, and then it happens that there will be some regulations. Because when the situation changes, then it happens that we need to come back to prayers. We need to remind ourselves to connect more to God. We need to unite more with people, to start to support each other, and then the situation will change again. And right now I understand what you're talking about when everything is limited with the like you told about the online like the online currency, what happening. You told about it's happening like nearly like China, and so these regulations are there, and we need to remember more about God. We need to pray, because when we do like this, we see that changes will coming. And the most important is our life always will be somehow limited. There will be always limits, because you live, for example, in Norway. Norway have rules, regulations, you have laws from the government, you have to follow them. Me in my country, I have the same. In some parts they may be similar, some parts completely different. What for you it's normal, for us it's not possible to think about maybe. And so we always have these regulations and limitations. And the only thing is that we need to understand, when we start the way of our self-development, when you start to learn more, to develop spiritually, automatically you will get more freedom. Even if you are like very limited in the space, if everything is narrow, it's anyway, like creating some freedom. You understand? Uh-huh.
I really like that you almost maybe you even went straight to the maybe the cause of everything what's going on right now. Like we lost our connection to what you call God. Well, we don't lose the connection, but we're not so focused on it anymore because we had such a good life, and everything was like, yeah, why I don't have to pray or ask God for anything like that. When I translate it to my world, where God is not a person to say it that way, but more like the source of life, and the natural law of things. I'm always like we humans, um, we are getting further and further away from what life truly is and what it is being a human being. And then I come back again to what I always advocate is like the heart-brain connection. If we stop our heart, there's the source. You can almost say God lives there, and it connects us to, or it connects us to God, right? And connects us to each other. It connects us to the world. It connects us to, quite literally to the earth itself and the universe, because it's all electromagnetic information and energy. So if you, even the science shows this, like we are losing our connection with source, with what you can call God, because we're living up in our head. Everything is here, and we only process the information from our five senses and not our sixth sense, our heart. We don't let our heart play with it, and put and listen to the input that our heart can give, and vice versa. What we how we live, and we see that with, especially I must say, unfortunately as well, with our current politicians, our governments, is like they are not living from the heart. They're not heart focused. When they make decisions, it doesn't come from the heart anymore. And I think that also, like you say, that connection with the heart, that connection with God, however you want to see it, um, is yeah, uh, leading us constantly into a blind way. It stops us, and it causes conflict. Um, I recently talked with my father about all the things going on in the world as well, and we came to the conclusion, as two old wise men, like actually it's all about education. If we grow up in a society where we learn at school, for example, um, human behavior, what is acceptable, what is normal, living from the heart, especially, how to be kind to each other, how to act or help other people when they have a difficult time, how to stand up for each other, stand up for yourself, and not let yourself get overrun by some people who want authority over you or want to pressure you in things you don't like. Um, those sort of things we are not taught at school anymore. Like we're learning about society, but we're not learning how to behave in society. And the only way we are now getting to know how to behave in society is by being taught the law, which only says all the things you cannot do. Like it's forbidden with this, it's forbidden with that, and that's like even if you say to somebody you can't do this and that, and you have like you use an hour to say all the things you can do, a human being normally would say, oh right, so I don't have any freedom at all. and, and even maybe gets the idea or to revolt against it and to actually go against it, like, oh yeah, I can do this, okay, great, then I'll try something else that maybe isn't good either. um, I sometimes say when I talk to a lawyer once, I said, why is the law always saying the things you can't do? I mean, the law books would be a lot thinner if you could just say the things you can do, and it would also say, hey, you have the freedom to do this and that, instead of always saying you can't do this, you can't do that. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think we agree on the point that losing our connection to how we live, the way of life, and not living from the heart anymore could be a cause of all the troubles we are in. And I guess also knowing this, and you talked a little bit about prayer, and prayer overlaps a lot with meditation, because you're contemplating sort of in both ways. And not doing that anymore doesn't makes that you're not connected with life. What do you think so far? How are we doing? Do you think, do you agree, like meditating, praying, getting back to being a real human being instead of trying to figure things out without listening to what really life is about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have very important points and views. Thank you so much for speaking about this. Right now, our world is changing in a lot of areas, in a lot of everyday life situations even. And we see some the changes, the regulations in a lot of fields. I can give you an example. For example, during the last days, I had contact with a school. I saw the students right now. And to be honest, I was very surprised because there happened a lot of changes as well. Like when you go more deep inside of this topic, you see the changes there as well. And it's completely different than, for example, 10 years ago. A lot of changes. And for sure, like we have to remember ourselves that we are free. We can do whatever we want, but we need to think about that everything have a consequence, because actually we are following some, let's say, cosmic laws. Everybody is doing it. And even when you think you are free, you have these laws. And in one moment, it will have influence in your life. And so I prepared a topic or some verse today, because more and more we should remember about the ancient knowledge, which we also find in the Bible. For a lot of people, for example, Bible is connected only for religion, but actually it is not. It's just like what people, the human being, created out of it. But in fact, it's a lot of knowledge in it. And when we adapt it to our everyday life, it helps a lot. And already Christ told, if you want to find a way to God, you have to pass me. You have to come through me to be able to reach. And so I prepared a verse. I don't know if you are connected somehow to Bible, or if you are like somehow in this topic, because this is what our world like needs more and more, this connection to the ancient knowledge, to the prayer to God, that we are able to get out of difficult situations. When we have this connection,
I want to pause a little bit. I must say I've grown up amongst Roman Catholics. I've been to Roman Catholic schools. My parents weren't Catholic at all, but but they sent me to these schools. So I know I've been around the Bible a lot, in church as well, and I didn't find it enough. So I went actually on and dug up the Gnostic texts. which
Yes.
is even more information that isn't available in the Bible. And it's like you say, there's so much, uh, like you say, ancient knowledge, but that it's actually talking about life, how life is built up, right? And how we can navigate in life and who we are in the world, who we are in the cosmos and the universe. Who are we there? If you dig through this, it's so fascinating. And like you say, don't connect it to religion. Do your do your own digging, investigate, and you can go. I've done this also. I go to a church. I talked when I did all this while I was still working at the hospital. So we have a hospital priest, right? And I did some rounds through the hospital on some QA control, QA checks. So I met them too. So there's always a lovely conversation to have with priests and other religious people around you. You can even go to your local imam if you are a Muslim. You will find so much similar information that overlap each other, and the red thread to everything, to all the religions, basically, you will find so many connections and so many ancient knowledge which is the same or based on the same. And once you get digging, it's just pleasant to see that that all these religions are based on the same principles, more or less. And this the way how you interpret it that makes the differences between them. But in the core, it's basically all the same. Um, which is, I think is wonderful, and I really want to encourage, like you say as well. We must get back to ancient knowledge, and yeah, I would say take a huge step back so we can get forward again. Uh,
Mhm, mhm.
yeah, with all the information we forget or didn't focus on, we should take that and get back to that and take it with us again.
Mhm,
Hmm.
mhm. To come back somehow to the roots, right?
Yeah, and actually, quite recently, my eldest son, I have two sons. My eldest son said that a lot of his classmates and kids he knows, they are seeking their way to churches again, to the church, to religion. So it's there's hope. I must say, yeah. I find the youth today very wise.
Mhm,
And I have when I see my kids and their friends, what they talk about and how they do things in life, what they
mhm.
prioritize. I feel like, wow, we need these kids in politics right now, and clean up a bit because they yeah they, I don't know. What they are the generation right now that is like 18, 19 years old. They're wonderful. I'm not sure how you see it. Which how old were the kids you have met recently?
Oh, they are basically that was very special days they had because in our country, like they are preparing now to come soon to summer holidays.
Hmm.
And basically all their education now is done for this, like for this study, for this moment. And so they are doing different projects. And it was a mixed class, not only like one level class, but different ages. I guess starting from 9 or 10 years up to 14, 15 years. And really, they think a lot. They are very wise. They are really great guys, and but we need to to guide them, to teach them, to guide them, and to give some let's say some point for the future. You understand?
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
right
And
now, uh-huh,
and guide them in the right direction, right? Like what you're doing, like let them know about
uh-huh.
ancient knowledge and the Bible or God or whatever you want to call it, and yeah, reconnect them with that knowledge there, and hopefully they take that with them in their decision making and how they want want to build their lives? Hmm.
Uh-huh. Well, they need for sure the guidance and the knowledge and like some good examples, because when you don't know, for example, you told how to live or like for the future, you need to have the good examples to understand how is somebody living really, that you are able to follow it, that you can maybe adapt it, because you also want to have such a possibility in your life. And that's why it's really good like to have these examples to be able to follow and to create it for the good future.
I think it's also
I
important to,
prepared
yeah, go
uh-huh,
ahead. Go ahead.
uh-huh. I prepared one verse. If it is okay, I want to share it. It's okay
Sure.
for you?
Yeah.
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 Um, it's in John, in the chapter 8, the verse 31 to 32. If you abide in my word, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. I can
Beautiful.
send you after when you want. And when you know the truth set us free. And when we are the disciples, then already like everything is changing. Because when we have the knowledge, we are getting more free.
And then people ask the question, but what is the truth? Well, you know the truth when you feel it in your heart. Like you know it. Like this feels good. That's often the truth if you wonder. And you can
Mhm.
also, what I often do with my students or my course participants or workshop participants is asking our heart a question. And that is basically like what we did in the start. Breathe through your heart, calm down. And then you ask yourself a question, a yes and no question. So you should be able to answer yes or no on it, not nothing else. And you ask that question, and then you drop into your heart space. And the first answer that comes up comes straight from the heart because you haven't analyzed anything yet. It's just straight from source, as I call it. And
Mhm.
that's then most of the time the correct answer. And you have to trust it. Trust your intuition, trust that knowledge there. So that's also a way to find truth. And sometimes you get the answer like that you didn't expect or that you didn't want to hear. That's just the way it is. Just go for it. And
Mhm.
just say, okay, if your heart said yes, it's okay. Then trust it. And it's the same with if you hear something, truth, it rings a bell, as people call it, or it resonates with you. That's truth. That's the truth. Um, which also I find difficult to accept as a European. Now I'm getting a little bit back to politics, for example. If you hear our politicians talk and speak, our NATO politicians, EU politicians, and especially when they answer questions, they kind of run around the bush. They don't want to answer full out. And I'm like, okay, you're hiding something. You're not entirely speaking the truth. Um, Contrary, when you hear our adversaries, like the head of state in China or President Putin from Russia or his foreign minister Lavrov, if you hear them talk and speak and answer questions, it makes sense. I don't want to say they're right because then I'm being banned from everything in Europe, I guess, right now. But it makes sense what they talk about, and it's like it rings a bell. Yeah, it makes sense. And then I guess people can get confused. What is happening? What
Mhm.
is the truth right now? And I'm just going to be honest with myself and say, hey, I tend to take the information that makes sense to me, even if it comes from a source that I've been told I shouldn't trust, I'll take that as more as a truth, and then somebody talking around the bush, talking nonsense or illogical, and can't answer a question, like a definite question in a way that's, okay, this is the way it is. I find it very frustrating myself. And I guess maybe many people in Europe, that our governments and politicians aren't open and truthful in some way. Have you experienced the same?
First of all, like there's some very simple, let's say maybe some kind of phrase, because to realize the truth, it's always good to focus on your heart. When you connect to your heart, when you're really able to feel it deeply, there's the phrase. It means you feel God. You can feel God in your heart. And in this moment, you understand that it is true, like it's something like alive, something true. You feel it more deep. And we are living, of course, in a time when there are also um, a lot of dark forces coming, a lot of dark powers trying to affect the life of a person. In the Bible, they call it Satan is coming, or like the devil is there, devil is around. So yeah, this is existing, of course. These powers exist, but when we connect to our heart, we understand what is right, what is the truth, and we need to connect more to it, to this source. We need to connect more, and especially now. What is also like very important in our days, what I see, I guess you have the same in Norway, or I guess most of the European countries have different, not different, like similar situations when people they separate. People they live like very separate from each other. So everybody have their own life. People they're working a lot. Somehow they try to manage their things, their topics, their difficulties alone. Maybe sometimes they don't have even another possibility because nobody is around. But in fact, to have such like a modern life, it brings us as well obstacles. And sometimes it's good like to think about it, maybe to change it somehow, to have friends around, to have your family, to have relatives, whoever is there, like to support each other. You understand what I'm talking about? Yeah. For example, when we go back, from our last conversations, I'm connected to African country, to Uganda, and to see how these people they are living. It's very different from our way of life, very different. And sometimes I really would love to adapt some part just from their life to bring to Europe, because I know it would be like a great possibility, a great influence to change it. And then our life will blossom, because then we already have a good basement. And when you have people around who are there, like supporting each other, who are trustful, you can ask for advice. You can somehow like doing good things together. Then a big step already is created.
I think we have that you mentioned now one part of the solution as well. There are many possible solutions that you can do. I think, like you said, helping each other, and also learning from other cultures and other countries. We talked about the same last time as well. I remember, like, what would be wonderful if all the things there's so many things we can learn from the cultures in Africa and in South America, how their community is. And research shows that as well. If you want to be more scientific, that we have this happiness report, World Happiness Report from the UN, which I say this is BS because it's only based on money and nothing, and not how people feel themselves. Because the countries that are, according to the UN, the happiest countries are also the countries with the most depressions, people with depressions.
Mhm.
But the people that are really happy often live in countries with less money, but they are so dependent on each other. They form tight communities and they help each other.
Mhm.
And I guess that makes people happy. And like you say, we live in the Western world, in Europe, separated from each other. We have separated us from nature, from the source of life, from God, but we also separate each other from each other, which is actually basically the same because we are part of nature, we are part of God, we are all connected, but we try to separate each other. And if we can, like you say, the big part of the solution here, I'm very convinced about that, is like connect to each other. And that's also why I find it so beautiful that the youth nowadays and more people are getting back to, for example, the church, where they meet each other, they talk about certain topics, they connect to each other. And if that church is also an organization where they organize things around other people, like helping another member of the church or going around helping other people, um, doing that sort of things. I guess we're getting back to a way of life that is more human and more real and more truthful.
Yeah.
The caring
Yes.
aspect comes back instead of the competition, which is basically separating each other now.
Yeah. It's true. It's like I really like these words because when we start to compare each other, like we lose a big part of ourselves. And basically, we cannot compare because everybody is very different. Like we are individuals. And our modern life, of course, brings us a lot of advantages, but as well a lot of separation. And I liked it before you were talking about South America, how the way of life can be, because in this connection, I remember a long time ago I had even some teacher like from South America coming, and it was great experience because I saw like she was a lady and she was like some time already in my country, but still you saw like she's very different, like she's not fitting in this frame of our country. And she was somehow like more free, like more alive, like more emotions, like everything. And it was really really wonderful to see. And as well, I don't know much about the way of life there, but I see that these people very different than from Europe. And they are connecting more. They also have this ancient knowledge, this ancient way of life, which really what we need here very much, because then our life changes. Situations will be more easier. We can overcome the difficulties more fast, maybe even more, yeah, more easy. Yeah.
So I guess, yeah, people asking right now, what can I do? People that are watching this, listening to this, that are living in the EU, in Europe, in North America, the West, to say it that way. What can I do as a person? Like I would say, try to find more knowledge, like Christina said, in the religious text, ancient knowledge, and I can highly recommend even going beyond that uh, to find even more information. Because personally, I found the Bible nice, very good, but there's more. There should be more. And then I found even more in the Gnostic text, and there's so much going on and around that as well. And if you want to find a group, a talk group, a prayer group, go to a church. But I find fascinating now I talked about prayer groups, and if you don't like the word prayer, go to intention groups, which is basically the same, which are small groups of people that help each other by either praying, or if you don't like the word praying, setting an intention. And we've done that with the transformational meditation group as well, setting the intention for people that need help. And it's so giving, it's so wonderful to do. And it really connects you to the other people in the group, and it also shows how strong we are and how capable we are in changing reality for real. That everything is energy. We can do so much just by changing our way of being, changing our state of being, and be compassionate and help each other, lift each other up. Don't don't. It's not competition. Competition is games. That's what we do in sports, right? That's what the World Cup is for. That's for fun. But in outside of that, we should help each other. We should be there for each other, and we should, as a society, a world society, lift each other up. We can't be there anymore, saying like this country is better than the other country. No, all these countries are on the same planet Earth, and we all influence this planet. And Bruce Lipton, I recently saw an interview with him. I guess you know who Bruce Lipton is. I guess he's familiar to our listeners and viewers as well. He's like the father of epigenetics. And he said recently, we humans are the gardeners of the planet, and also the guardians of the planet. We are here to tend to the garden, to the planet, and not to rip it apart, not to rip each other apart, not to. We are here to make things blossom, make it even more beautiful, to tend to it, like a garden. And I found that a wonderful thing. I think if we can live from that point of view, like why I'm here, why are we fighting, why are we having so much conflict? If we stop that for a moment and say, hey, I'm here to take care of myself, other people, and the planet and the world, then yeah. It is it's so easy to say, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's also very easy to do.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. You just have to start doing it.
Mm. Mm. It's true. Like we are living all on the same planet, and so basically we need to take care not only about our countries, but about the whole planet. And we are the gardeners. How to say
Yeah,
this in English? Gardeners who are planting every day. We are giving out the seeds, and so if we have like the people around, we can maybe even plant something together, something good together, and even to support, to lift up each other, to say maybe you need to check your garden, maybe something is going wrong. You need to harvest and to put some other seeds maybe. um, and basically, it's a good topic because I was thinking a lot. For example, in my country, we have a lot of rules, a lot of regulations. And it happened that when you come to other countries, out of Europe, for example, you see that they don't care about these things, what people care a lot in our country. And so it happened that I was thinking why it is like this. Like somehow it's upside down. We cannot only care in one country, want to save the world, let's say, through different actions, but the rest of the world is not caring about it. And so we also need to have this knowledge, the understanding, the consciousness about like how we are living, like what we are doing, what we are really planting, to be able to have a good future out of it.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think we can conclude with this. This that like start living from the heart, is always the core message. We come down to that every time. With the heart, we are connected to God, to the world, to each other. So reconnect the heart to the brain. Uh, find community. If you are if you feel alone, if you feel separated, find community. And we know already that some youth is already doing that. So take an example from our kids, I should say. Uh, and yeah, begin somewhere. Don't sit still and say everybody else has to change, but you can contribute by changing your ways if you haven't done so yet. And it isn't like a pill. It isn't like, oh, I'm changing my ways. Tomorrow everything is better. I mean, it's just if everybody, more people who do this, then you get that tipping point where everybody changes over as well. So yeah, contribute. Go to your school if you are a teacher, a meditation teacher. Do like Christina, for example. Go visit the school. Talk about self-regulation, living from the heart. Maybe some religion if you want to pass that on as well. Spread the positive message about connection, community, and yeah, stop the separation. I guess that's the basic. What it's all about. We are in the current situation in this, especially in the Western world right now, because of separation. I guess that's the 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 big cause of everything. Hmm.
Mhm.
Okay. Um, yeah. Let's conclude with that. Do you want something to add still? Is there something we forgot?
I think for today it's quite a lot already. So for this conversation and for this possibility. And I guess we can continue in one moment, but for today, let's conclude. It's true, like we should stop the separation and be more like united and focused on the same goal, on the, yeah, to overcome challenges because they are there. Our life is not always blossoming. We also have the ups and downs, and yeah, so if we are connected, then it's more easier to overcome it.
Absolutely.
Let it be so.
Great. Absolutely. We're going to start the process of separating us digitally from each other and from our watchers and viewers and listeners. But we stay connected nevertheless through our heart, through the electromagnetic field of the earth, and just by thinking. If you think about somebody, you're already connecting. That's how easy it is, basically.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, Christina, for today. And I hope we'll see you back very soon again. And good luck with all your projects and endeavors in the near future. And people that are watching and listening to this, look down in the description for the link to Christina's weekly sessions on Sunday, 8 p.m. Central European Time. If I'm not mistaken. Yep. And just try it out and see what it is all about. And maybe you see me there as well. I'm not always available Sunday at 8 p.m., but when I am, I will definitely come and participate in Christina's session. Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Take good care and
Thank,
namaste.
thank you so much and see you soon. Namaste.